Hi, my name is Nazia Khan. Welcome to the Transformation Lab DXB podcast, powered by Gym Nation. Get ready for an exciting deep dive into the stories of our incredible guests as they share how they transform their lives by turning their toughest setbacks into epic comebacks. This is where inspiration meets action. Nehha, thank you for joining us today on the Transformation Lab podcast, Dubai. Let's begin by getting to know you a little better. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I don't mean name, age, and, you live in Dubai. I mean, who you are.
Thank you for having me. And congratulations on your very first podcast. I'm a third culture kid. I've lived in...
What does that mean? Let's explain to our listeners. What is a third culture kid?
A third culture kid is someone who doesn't really know which place to call home because they've lived in so many different countries and traveled so much. But at the moment, I feel I've transitioned from a third culture kid to somebody who is a little more stable and grounded, and because I call Dubai home now. So,
okay. Oh, that's good. So Dubai's grounded you.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. And where have you lived apart from Dubai before you called Dubai your home?
Saudi. Mm-hmm. Grew up most of my life in Saudi, Singapore, Milan, and then to Dubai.
And why Dubai?
Land of opportunity, land of dreams.
I'm interested because I never ever imagined I would call Dubai my home. And I have to admit that I had this superficial perspective on it. And it's because of how it's portrayed in the media, of course. And I come from London. But then when I came here during lockdown too, I was ashamed that I judged the city,
Did you fall in love instantly?
I fell in love. And like with any other city, more so here, it presents a lot of opportunity. There's great energy. There's no bad news. The rulers, I call them the CMOs. Yeah, our ruler is the chief marketing officer for Dubai. And then he makes sure on his team that we are not subjected to anything bad. Wouldn't you agree?
100%.
Isn't that a great place to live?
I can't picture myself living anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
We get a little spoiled, I think.
We're spoiled because when we travel out, no airport is the same as Dubai. Nothing is as clean and nothing is as efficient. I just feel like sometimes we're living in a different bubble. We're living 40 years ahead in time,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Dubai is our home. We love that. So what do you do in Dubai?
So I recently started my business. It's been a year now.
Congrats.
Thank you. I launched my own agency called Magnetic Marketing, which focuses on personal branding, LinkedIn, and fractional marketing services.
Okay. And do you turn brands into magnets?
Yes, through efficient storytelling.
Okay. All right. And so let's get into that. What inspired you to start your business? Why did you choose to take the leap in starting your business? I'm guessing you worked for somebody else before.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
So my life in general and my career hasn't been very traditional or very linear.
Is that because you're a third culture kid?
Partly so, but partly it's also because I chose to stand my own ground and tell my own story. I feel that I've taken steps which are not very traditional, and I chose to pave my own path in lots of different ways.
And what drove that? What drove that need to pave your own path?
A lot of setback, a lot of failures, and a lot of disappointments.
In working for others?
Yes, working for others in life, in my personal relationships, in my professional relationships. And there were so many failures and so many disappointments that...
Across both personal and professional life?
Across both my personal and professional life.
And do you think that's connected? when we fail at work, we fail in personal life and vice versa?
100%.
It's connected.
Yes, it is connected.
It's about energy, right?
It is about energy, how you take care of yourself, what your mindset is, what your habits are, how you are as a person every day, because your inner world is your outer world.
I agree with that. When I was floating at work and working for others, and I was quite good at what I did, but I didn't take it seriously. I was not taking my health seriously. And, the moment I became a boss, as in running my own business, I not only started to take myself seriously, but everyone else around started to take me seriously. And then it was in me all along. I don't really know why I derailed. But anyway, I think the derailment is what drives us to become our own bosses, I think.
Yes.
For some of us, right?
Yes.
So what was your derailment? There must have been one moment that made you think, do you know what? I'm going to do it on my own. I'm done with this. Like, was there any defining moment in your career?
Yes. So there are two aspects to that. One was in my professional life, in my career, where I had an ex-boss who told me that I really suck at marketing and that I should find another alternative career. And in my personal life, around the same time, someone I really trusted and relied on told me that I would really not amount to anything much in my career or business because I wasn't a shark.
And this is the same boss who said you suck at marketing.
No, it was from my personal life. So there were two aspects to it. So my career, my boss,
I suck at work. Life.
Yeah, and in personal life, I said, and the person told me, he said, you'll never amount to anything because you're not a shark. You'll never have your own business and you'll never be successful in your career.
Okay, so you suck in life. Personal life, you suck at work. Okay, I'm glad we can laugh about it, right? I bet it wasn't a nice thing to hear this at the time.
No, because it made me question everything. It made me question my ability to do anything.
Did doubt creep in?
Yes.
Did you doubt yourself before you were told you sucked?
No. Not really. Because there's some conversations you have with certain people in your life that have such a profound effect.
Yeah. Let's face it, when somebody tells us we suck, even if we believe we are good, we are going to question what we're being told, right?
Yes.
So I want to dive a little bit deeper into this. Because I know one of my old bosses, when I said, I want to set up a health business, he said to me, yeah, you should launch a green juice, Naz. And I remember thinking, oh my God, is that all he thinks I'm capable of? Yeah. And I like a green juice, but my story was much bigger. But you know what? He wasn't wrong in saying that because I did not show him my full potential. So how could he picture me running my own business where green juice is one of many things that I subscribe on my meal plans, on my app, on my one-to-one coaching, with customization of the food diaries and meal plans. So the reason I'm framing this question is sometimes we do suck in life because we haven't given it our best shot. We didn't want to give it our best shot for whatever reason. And then someone comes along and says, you know what, you really suck at this. And then that is the moment where you think, you know what, I'm going to change the narrative. I'm going to show you and I'm going to show myself. Was there any truth let's start with your boss. Was there any truth to what he said? Was it more him?
I feel that there are no coincidences in life.
Yeah, I believe you.
I feel that the universe puts certain people and certain obstacles in your life so that you can transcend to the next level. So that you can be uncomfortable. Because if you're comfortable, then you're not going to move ahead. You're not going to change the world.
Yeah.
There has to be some pain in your life to see happiness and to feel it.
Yeah, it's called growth.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's called growth. I think transformation comes from our setbacks. We don't make epic comebacks without some depth, without some character, without some pain, trauma. We have to go through that journey And anyone who says it's easy or I just sailed through life, it's just, they're not telling the truth. They're just glossing over it.
No.
Okay. So the boss tells you suck at life. What was the next thing that you did? I'm going to come on to the personal life comments, which came at the same time. And you're right. There's no coincidences in life. Was that a wake-up call that you needed?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
And it was brutal.
It
came both sides.
I just began to question everything around me.
Okay.
Am I in the right place? Am I in the right career? Am I making the right choices? What's next?
Yeah.
Am I going to spend the next 10 years just having other people tell me I suck at what I do? So you want to ask me what I did next?
What did you do next? Yes.
I quit my job. And I booked the next flight to Bali. And I took a sabbatical for a good 4 months.
I get the sense that Bali is the place that turns you around because
it's true.
I lost 10 kilos in 10 weeks. Started my journey in September 2022. In December, I went to Bali and I came back. I was already renewed from the weight loss. I had gone through a transformation. I joined the 5 a.m. club.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks in Bali, I mean, yours was much longer, 4 months.
Longer, 4 months.
I came back and thought, you know what? I do not want to be working for anyone. I need to do this myself. And at that point, I didn't have anything I knew I wanted to do coaching. I knew I wanted to transform women in mind, body, and health. But I did not have a roadmap. I did not have a journey mapped out. I just knew that I had gone through a transformation and I wanted to share my transformation and transform others. And Bali kind of gave me the clarity that I needed.
So we're very similar.
So it's a similar journey. Yeah. So I do believe in parallel universes. I believe that we do go through similar journeys in different time zones.
Me too.
So tell me, you come back from Bali, 4 months of clarity, 4 months of self-care, 4 months of recovering from being told you suck. Then what?
Ironically, I got another job offer and I took that up.
Okay.
But the difference this time was I knew it was for my higher good because that 1 year I spent building my personal brand. Yeah. I attended close to 60 events in a span of 1 year. I started posting on social media.
So you basically you set up a side hustle. They called it then?
Yes. because of building my personal brand, I saw this barrage of opportunities and doors open. And that just got me thinking, wow, this is really powerful shit.
Yeah.
I can just do so much.
Yeah.
So it was the next step.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think as business owners, entrepreneurs starting out, it's very difficult to quit one thing and then start a business because I set up my page to hold me accountable in my journey. And I took the job. I was headhunted. I wasn't looking for the job. But I took it. I took it for security. I was in a new city, new life, everything. I took it they put me through the ringer, like it was an institution. Yeah. And everybody knows that if you survive working with WPP, was the agency, then you can survive anywhere in the world, So I gave them sweat, blood, and tears and more. And you know what? It set me up. It set me up to launch my business. So you were running a similar journey. You're in a job, and as a sideline, you were setting up your own personal brand to help others.
Yes.
Elevate their personal brands.
Yes.
Okay. And
but I did not know then that I was it's going to amount to anything at all.
And this is exactly what I mean. When I started the coaching business, I didn't know. And what I would encourage the listeners is that if you want to take that leap and you're waiting for the perfect moment, there's no such thing. If you're looking for a roadmap and everything, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, don't wait, Like nobody ever said, oh, you know what? Everybody regrets not doing things sooner, right?
Yes.
Nobody ever says, oh, I jumped the gun and I really wish I didn't.
Yeah.
We don't know. When we are starting out new, we don't know everything. And that's the point, right? That's the journey.
That's the journey.
Yeah. We're supposed to learn, grow, fail, succeed.
And it's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but creating your personal brand gave you the inspiration to, one, you went through the journey yourself,
Yes.
like I did with weight loss,
Yes.
transformation.
Yes.
Then you realized what other brands needed
Yes,
to raise their personal brand.
exactly.
Okay. All right. So then when did you pull out of corporate and completely went solo?
Just a year ago now.
Okay.
Exactly a year ago.
Now, tell me 3 highs and 3 lows in year 1 of going solo. Your own business.
3, I'll start with the lows. It can be incredibly lonely. Incredibly lonely. You just need to sacrifice everything and have blinkers. Really, just forget friends, forget families, forget birthdays, forget, parties, forget everything that you know, and just put your head down and work. And that kind of alienates you from it's a completely different world. It's a completely different mindset.
And I can vouch for that. It is lonely. It is lonely. And particularly when you're running an online business.
Yes.
Yours is an online branding
Yes,
business.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because you have access to so much resource online, anytime, anywhere, any place. My
Yes.
teams are all around the world. And you're right. Like, I felt guilty pausing my friends, my family, saying no to socials. But I saw it as a compromise because all my life I had been prioritizing family, prioritizing partying, socializing, traveling, friends. It was time to prioritize the business.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, do you know what? I've done everything to maximum. So that can take a backseat. There's no such thing as balance in year 1
No,
of business.
there is no such thing as
You
balance.
can't have it all.
Absolutely not. Anybody who says that is lying.
Because if you choose socials, for example, or you go out with a friend and, there's a couple of wines involved or maybe 3 or 4, you can do that when you work for somebody else and rock up the next day, maybe slightly hungover and put in an average
Yes.
performance. You can't do that when you're running your own show.
Absolutely not. No.
So it's better not to go out. And I don't know about you, I've never gone through FOMO and YOLO, although nobody uses these terms anymore. But I never thought I was missing out when I was launching my business last year. Did you ever feel like you were missing out?
No, never. I love what I do.
Amazing.
I absolutely love what I do. It doesn't feel like work to me. It's because I'm always thinking, I'm always implementing.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm helping others shine.
Yeah.
So
you're living on purpose.
Yes,
You're helping
I have a purpose.
the world become a better place. So, and I can vouch for that. I'm driving a purpose-filled life. And that then allows you to take away all the distractions, all the unnecessary distractions.
Exactly.
So what's the second low?
the second low, I feel, is you feel you're not moving fast enough.
Yeah, that
It's
sprint,
just-
that marathon you think you need to be on.
You're never fast enough.
And I'm interested to learn your point of view on this. I've been sprinting. I've been running marathons in my business.
And that's why you are where you are.
Yes, but I sometimes look back and think, was it necessary? The sleepless nights, the sweat, the blood, the tears? And to be honest, the answer is yes. But is it necessary to go? I want to know why you're in the fast lane, because for me, I think underneath, if I'm really honest with myself, is I'm beating myself up for not doing it sooner. And now I feel like if I'm on the treadmill and I am not walking, I'm going to run, and I'm going to scale this business up and I'm going to help thousands of people and I'm going to go I'm going to go, international. The drive to grow and help other people grow is relentless passion of mine. So is it the same for you? Like, is it growth for the sake of growth, or is it growth because you're just so driven by helping so many people?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel I should have done this earlier, but there's a right time and a right place for everything. I probably don't think I could have pulled it off if it was like 5 years earlier, because I wouldn't have the expertise, I wouldn't have the drive, I wouldn't have the ambition. Because 5 years ago, I was still traveling the world.
You're still traveling. The same for me. 5 years ago, I was self-sabotaging, partying like it was going out of fashion. You know, Ibiza was my playing ground. So I get it. And you know what? If I hadn't lost the weight, if I hadn't joined the 5 a.m. club, if I had not transformed my relationship with food and fitness and mindset growth, I wouldn't have been able to help anyone.
Yeah.
So I had to go through the journey first, walk the walk before I talk the talk.
Yes, 100%.
Practice what you preach, right?
Yes.
I agree with you. Timing is everything. And you know what? It's never too late. It's never too late. We can start over whenever we want.
I agree. I mean, society has this path set out. Oh, you need to get married at 30 and you need to buy a house and you need to have children and you need to...
Are you kidding me? My mom wanted to be married at the age of 18 and have kids by 20, and 2, 3, 4 kids. Yeah, no. I wish she hadn't done that because I ran from marriage and kids all my life because she tried to force it down my throat when I was 12, Okay, so the first low is loneliness, but it comes with the territory.
Yeah, it comes with the
territory. Because
territory.
when you start running your own business, you're in a different lane to most people.
Yeah.
So then it is a bit of a lonely journey. And I found, and I don't know about you, I have a real disconnect. I no longer have things in common with some of my friends. So if I meet them and they're talking about partying and holidaying and buying the next handbag, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so boring. But whereas before I launched my business, I was very happy participating in those conversations.
I'm the same. I'm the exact same.
Okay. So that's growth, right?
Yeah.
When you stepped up. So the third low, what's the third low?
The third low is sometimes it feels like you just don't know what you're doing or where you're going because, it's like you're in a tunnel and there's light somewhere at the end of the tunnel, but you're just like moving along.
Yeah.
There's no, like you said, there's no roadmap.
There's no roadmap.
You learn as you go along. There's so many things. There are hundreds of things because you're juggling, I hear you. Because when you launch a business, you're the CEO, you're head of sales, you're head of ops, you're the talent, and whatever else, like partnerships and everything that goes into a business, finance, admin, you're everything. And if you think about it, if I look at my corporate career, admin would be delegated. Finance would be finance department's job. Ops would be ops department's job. I would be sales. Somebody else would be the CEO. Somebody else would be running the operation. Suddenly, I'm doing all of that. And you know what? In the words of your ex-boss, I suck at some of these things. Me too.
Absolutely suck.
Me too.
And I despise admin. I will not do admin. But you know what? I had to suck it up and I had to do everything. And I'm telling you, in the first year, and I don't know if I'm not ashamed to admit it. I had a bit of an ego. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not getting my hands dirty. I'm not rolling up my sleeves because I had climbed so high in my career. I wasn't willing to step down that ladder and get my hands dirty. Then I thought, hang on a minute, this is my business. I don't have enough revenue yet to hire people. So I have to pull my sleeves up and do everything. And I think it is difficult. It's very difficult to navigate year one in business. Do you know why? It's like a bulldozer comes into your life.
Yes.
And you have no option but to put up with it.
Or giving birth to a newborn baby.
Yeah. It's completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Every day is unexpected. Okay, so those are the 3 lows. Let's talk about the good stuff. What are the 3 highs?
When my clients get amazing results, when they shine their light. I love telling their stories the right way, you know. Because when they shine, I shine. My clients inspire, the people I work with inspire me every single day.
We shine because of our work.
Yes.
So like you, there's nothing more that makes my day than when a client says to me, you changed my life. I appreciate you. You know, you are my inspo. It's because of you I have a healthy relationship with food now. It's because of you I move my body every day now. It's because of you I meditate every day now.
Yeah.
And when they say these things, they
Yeah.
are everything to me.
That's like an all-time high, right?
Yeah, I'm like, do you know what? If they say I'm good, I'm good. Because who am I to say I'm great?
Yeah.
We are in the hands of our clients, right?
Yes.
So with your clients, so that's a high. That's great. What's the second high?
The ability to know that you can create whatever you want. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
It's
You write your own book, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can just navigate your life. You're the storyteller of your own life. And entrepreneurship really teaches you that, because
Yeah.
you get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're like, I am capable of this. I am doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm capable of, 1,000 million more,
No matter how many times you get punched in the face.
which is a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. That's a good high. And what's the third one?
Making more money than I did in my corporate job.
Isn't that amazing? Like I had this moment this year where I made more in a day than I used to make in a month, and I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
You know? But then obviously those days are exceptional days,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the rewards can be great.
Can be great.
And can stack up.
If you are ready to
If you're ready to roll your
hustle
sleeves.
and really work. Like,
Yeah.
really
work. I
Yeah.
mean, going to 60 events, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
going to gym, getting
Yeah.
ready for work, spending the whole day at work, and in the evening I would attend an event or a networking event or do something. And I was going to bed at like 9:30, 10 and doing the same thing all over again next day. And it was
Wow.
exhausting because the weekends
hearing you sounds exhausting.
Yeah, because the weekends I spent doing freelance work
Yeah.
with the opportunities that I got. So it was just nonstop for me, which I'm grateful for, because
Yeah.
it pushed me out of my comfort zone, and here I am today.
Yeah. Events.
Yeah.
Events are good. You know, like, that you have to. There's no doubt about it. You have to throw yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, and the more you go out, the more you connect, the more you network, your network grows. But yeah, that's good. We are inviting local companies to promote their brand in Gym Nation. If your target audience is the health conscious, fitness savvy consumer, and activation at Gym Nation could elevate your visibility and expand your reach in multiple locations in multiple territories, members like nothing better than a giveaway or a good sample sale. If you want to get involved, please get in touch with us today. So what's been your biggest learning in year one of running your own show, Magnetic Marketing?
Trust yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Have the courage to do things. Have the courage to change the world.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to do that. It has to come from within.
And in
I
order to
can
change
make
the
an
world,
impact.
you have to believe that
You
you
have
can.
to really, really believe from your heart, from your gut,
Even with all the setbacks.
even with all the setbacks.
Yeah. So would you say your biggest setback was being told, you suck at marketing, you'll never make it in life? Do you think that was the kick you needed to just go for it?
Yes, very much so.
Do you
Because it wasn't something so traumatic, but I don't know, it just hit a nerve. It just made me think about everything, life in itself. Like, do I really suck? Really? I have 2 degrees in marketing.
Yeah.
Come on, I can't really suck. I have years and years of experience. So for someone to say that,
Yeah.
did I do something so terribly wrong?
Yeah.
Or did I just really suck, even after all those
Yeah.
years of experience and, those degrees and all the, different life experiences that
Yeah.
I've had?
Yeah. And also, I think in life, sometimes we are absolute bosses, and sometimes we do suck.
Yeah.
And if I look at my career, I started off as a boss in life. My mom was like, come on, roll your sleeves up. I know you're 7, but you're going to help me run the household. I'm one of 10.
Yeah.
I have like 8 sisters, 1 brother. She needed help in like keeping the house in order. And And so I've been bossing since the age of 7. So never really got a break as a child.
Yeah.
So then when I stepped into my career, I bossed it then. Then when my dad died, I stopped bossing. I was like, do you know what? I need to go and live a little. And I'm sick of being responsible. I don't want the commitment. And then all hell broke loose, turned my life upside down.
Yeah.
And in that moment where I was finding myself, who was I? Before my mom said, you're this and you should marry this person and this is the degree you should get. And before my bosses started to drive me like a boss, and thanks to them, I've now become my own boss. But when I went down a rabbit hole, or Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
I went down both routes.
Yeah.
And I milked it, to the point of no return. And I did it for so long. Then I had to have a word with myself, like, what the hell are you doing? You went from great to finding yourself to now floating in life. And the floating part really sucked. I had to tell myself, you suck. And other people were doing it, but softly, like thinking I could only launch a green juice or... Because I wasn't showing them my boss side. So how could they say you're a boss? But it's funny, like I lost my self-belief. It crumbled.
And that's the most important weapon that you have.
And
right?
I was born with self-belief.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were like, it starts with you, it ends with you, you're the best thing. No, let nobody ever tell you that you are not great. But I lost that belief when my dad died all of a sudden. And no belief in any religion protects you from such a loss. So I lost myself through his death. I was like, wow, how is this fair? Like, he was so young. So I think the self-belief, we could be born with it, or it comes to us later in life, then we can lose it through events, and then it comes back.
Yeah.
Now my self-belief is, wow, it's never been this high,
And that's why where you are,
I have to back myself every day. Like on the days that I suck and I get told I suck, I have to look at myself in the mirror and say, you know what? Shut up. Stop being so self-critical. Show self-compassion.
Yeah.
You're great. You're not great at everything, but you're really great at some things. So I have to talk to myself in the mirror. Like the Mel Robbins?
Yeah.
The high five habit?
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to give myself high five in the mirror.
Yeah. But I think as entrepreneurs, we're so critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
And
because we fall.
Yeah.
We fall a lot in our first few years. Okay, so what's the best thing about working with clients that you've helped elevate their brand?
I get to make a change in the way things are done, in the way marketing, I feel, is supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Like old age, new age.
Old age, new age. I like that. What do your clients teach you? What do you learn from your clients? Because obviously they are corporate.
Yes. They're CEOs, C-suite.
C-suite.
Yes. To be fair, I think I learn a lot more from them than they learn from me.
Really?
Because these are, high-level thought leaders. Who've had 20 years of experience, 30 years of experience, who dominate their niches and dominate their industries.
Yeah.
So they teach me a lot more than I teach them.
Yeah, but you cannot underplay your value to elevating their brand.
No, of course.
Because you could be C-suite.
Yeah.
I sucked at content in year 1. I didn't know how to drive content. So I brought people in and said, how should I be driving my strategy on Instagram? How should I be doing it on LinkedIn? And then TikTok and YouTube and all these channels. And it's especially in the digital landscape, you need experts like you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the biggest learning? Like what you say you learn from your clients all the time.
Yeah.
What have you learned? Name a few things.
Time management.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah.
And just breaking out of the mold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you really have to be one step ahead of your client. You have to be one step ahead of their thought process and where they are.
Yeah.
So if I'm working with CEOs, in certain ways, in my thought process, I am one step ahead of them. That's why I work with them.
Yeah, exactly.
To elevate their brand.
Yeah.
So
because you're an expert,
yes,
you're
exactly.
bringing your expertise. Even if we are C-suite, doesn't mean like we know everything, right?
Yeah.
And a C-suite are good at what they do because they surround themselves with experts.
Exactly.
That's what my belief is. I am not good at everything, but I have experts around me, and I don't need to be great at everything.
You got to hire people smarter than you.
Yeah. And I'm definitely not afraid of that. I think when you hire people smarter than you, it allows you to build your business faster, scale up faster, and also, you're not micromanaging.
Yeah.
You just delegate. And so that people can step in and really drive performance, brand elevation. So tell us, what does it mean to elevate your brand? What are the main pillars?
Most people think that this is the number one problem that I see happening, is that entrepreneurs put their brands first, like their company brands first.
Right.
And themselves at the back. They want to push.
Whereas they're the personality that should be
exactly
pushed. Yeah.
that should be in the forefront.
Yeah.
And the company at the back. And I really want to change the way things are done.
That's the old school way of doing it.
That is the old school. But 95% of people still feel the same way, or entrepreneurs feel a sense of cringe. Oh, I don't want to be in front of the camera, or I don't want to post on social media, or it's too much, and I just want to be at the back. But it doesn't work.
No, so to be honest, I remember when I first started out, I was not comfortable at all in front of the camera. Are you surprised?
I find that very, very hard to believe, because you're such a natural.
So people tell me that a lot, but in the beginning, it's because, and I think a lot of people will resonate with this, it's because I was thinking, this comes from my mom, and I've been raised in an environment where what will people think? She cared what people thought. She cared what her friends thought in the community. And I rebelled against that. But underneath, it's part of my preconditioning.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God. So I'm on camera. I'm shooting content for Instagram story or whatever. What will people think? Do I look good?
Yeah.
Is my hair done? Is my makeup done? I thought about, I worried about all the things that I don't worry about at all today. And it's come from experience, and it's come from confidence. So when you're starting out new, the thought of speaking on camera is scary. And I remember I brought in a content team, and they said, Nazia, you have to look at the camera. It has to be a head and shoulders. You've got to stop moving your hands too much. You've got to stop saying and ah. You've got to stop breaking sentences. And I was literally all this information coming from different directions.
Kind of how I feel today.
And I'm thinking, I can't do this. This is hard. It's a 15-second damn story. How many people need to, drive this narrative? But it comes with experience. And what I then realized very quickly, and I'm sure you guide your clients through this, is that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have your hair done. You don't need makeup. You don't need to have lights, camera, and action. You can just be yourself. And people will relate to you being yourself, more natural than a made-up version all the time. And also, you've kind of if you're building an online brand, you've got to get comfortable.
Yes.
With, and I think the uncomfortable aspect that we start out with, I think that is the unknown. So the more you shoot content, the more you're in front of the camera, the more you become relaxed. The more you don't think about it.
It's just putting in the reps, right? It's the same thing as
exactly.
going to the gym.
Yeah,
imagine the first day you go to the gym, you're looking around and what am I doing? And you're feel so uncomfortable. But it's the same thing. You just got to keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and now it's so true. I just filmed my ads. I'm running campaigns for the new year in the US, UK, UAE, all these markets. A year ago, when I was told to film ads by my content team, oh my God, I would spend days procrastinating, and then our days rehearsing the scripts. Now I don't follow scripts. I'll go off piece. And I remember it was a huge deal. Now my ad team will come to me and say, Nazia, can you shoot 3 more ads and we need them by tomorrow? I literally get on camera and they're done. And you know what? It can be just after my lunch. It could be after a client session. I don't need to rehearse. I don't need to orchestrate. It's just, now it's second nature.
Yeah. Can I please be you when I grow up?
So that's interesting you say that. And you say this to me often.
Yeah, I do.
It makes me laugh. So for the listeners, I've been working with Nehha for 6 months now.
Yeah.
No, not even actually.
Less than that.
Less than that. Yeah, like just under 6 months. And Neha's helped elevate my game on LinkedIn. And even though I come from a corporate background, I never really used LinkedIn much, and I didn't really know how to elevate it. And on Instagram, I brought in experts, and they showed me how. And it was test and learn, failed. At first, I was really occupied with how many likes, how many people are commenting.
Vanity metrics.
Vanity metrics, that's the term, love it. And then I just let go of that. When you let go of those superficial things and your content is organic, authentic, purpose-driven, value-led, educational, the audience lines up to listen to it, to watch it, to connect with it. And the algorithm takes care of the rest, right?
Yes.
So, so why do you want to be me when you grow up?
Because I feel I'm following the same path as you.
Parallel universe.
Yes, exactly. I am in the place that you were maybe a year or two ago. And I feel that our journeys have been so similar in terms of setbacks, in terms of failures, and even in terms of growth and success and mindset. I mean, both of us have some of the same habits, very similar habits, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, going to the gym, meditating, 5 a.m. club, manifestation.
That gave me goosebumps.
We do really. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that we've been able to work so well together. And I see a really, really, really bright 2025 and much beyond that, And
For my brand?
Yes, of course.
What do you see for me?
I see a lot of events next year, of course. You doing a lot of speaking engagements, doubling down on workshops, doubling down on, on elevating the podcast. Publications, your book is coming out.
My book is coming out.
Hopefully an audio version as well for people like
100%,
me
100%.
who listen to audiobooks on the treadmill.
Yeah. By the way, the book is my 7-step guide to losing 1 kilo a week. Wait for it. Mic drop. Without giving up carbs, chocolate, or wine.
For someone like me who believes in just eating everything in balance.
Yeah, I lost 1 kilo a week without giving up any of those. So, it's about balance. It's absolutely about balance.
By the way, there's one thing that you didn't know about me.
Yeah.
It's that I actually was a very fat and chubby kid. And I lost all that weight over the past few years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was almost 10 kgs heavier. If you see my pictures earlier, you wouldn't recognize me.
I was 10 kg heavier over 2 years ago. But I was chubby kid. My mom said I ate all the milk, dairy, cheese, butter. She said I used to squeeze butter out of my fat little hands. And when I look at the pictures of me, I think I'm 4 or 5. You can't see my neck. I was that fat. And then when I went to school, I thought that kids used to bully me. They used to call me giraffe neck. I used to come home and say, Dad, Daddy. The kids call me giraffe neck at school. And they said, no, Nazi, it's you have the neck of a swan. It's very elegant. It's beautiful. Yeah. But the kids just want to call it giraffe because they're trying to get to you. And you should know better than that. I went from no neck to giraffe and swan neck.
And look at you now.
I still have a swan. A very long neck. So I think that, do you think that your journey is becoming easier because you are intrinsically connected with your mindset? You know where you want to take the business, where you want to take your personal life goals. You're healthy, you're fit, you get up early, you're helping brands elevate their game. Do you think that health and fitness play and mindset growth play a huge role in you becoming your own boss and paving your, like it's you're writing your own book to success. Basically.
I agree. There's no separation between your business and, the other side, your personal life, which includes health, fitness, which includes meditation, which includes mindset, which includes belief, which includes, manifestation. It's just, there's no separation between that.
Yeah.
It's just, you just have to be in the flow of things.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5 a.m. club, like it changed your life, it changed my life. It gives me like extra hours during the day, to do things, to set the tone for the day. And my cup has to be full to give 100% to my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-care.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your work or people that you're in charge of at work or people that you're responsible for in your private, personal life.
And I take that very seriously.
And I think that if we operated in life as, the iPhone comes with software updates.
Yeah.
It always fixes bugs and, stuff. I think that we should be upgrading ourselves just like the software. We should be better than yesterday. And even if that means 0.1%.
Yeah.
We should put the reps in. We should turn out. We shouldn't live life on repeat, mindless scrolling, mindless eating, not moving our bodies, and not living life with intention.
Yes, and investing in ourselves.
In ourselves.
Like coaches, books, podcasts, events, self-growth. It's so important.
It's so important, and I'm glad you've touched upon that. Before I launched this podcast a few weeks ago, you're our third guest, I was thinking, how have I just turned up and I've sat in the podcast seat and I'm interviewing somebody? How? Yeah. You know why? I must have listened to over 300 podcasts in the last 2 years since I've become a business owner.
And do you think they've changed your life?
Not only have they changed my life, they have been defining moments where I have learned so much from the podcasts that I've applied the methodologies into my business. Like if you take Alex Hormozi, for example, I've applied his 4 pillars to successful business. Content, organic growth, client referrals, affiliate marketing, and then there's lots of other things.
Yeah.
But he has this system like 100 million leads and 100 million I don't know.
Yeah.
I read both of his books. So, and then there was something that Stephen Bartlett said in The Diary of a CEO that really resonated with me. And I remember I was running one morning and I was listening to his podcast, and he said that the lack of decision making costs businesses so much money. It's better to make a decision, act on things quickly, even if you fail, because the ability to make decisions fast, fail fast, learn fast, will help you drive a business at a phenomenal rate. And I can't help but think that his podcasts has influenced me, because I've made so many decisions.
Yeah.
Fast. And I've fallen flat on my face. I'm not going to lie. And I've, told myself, why did you do that? Why did you move fast? But I've acted fast and learned fast rather than procrastinating, rather than living in fear, doubt, uncertainty.
That's the problem that most people have.
Yeah, because they're living in a mediocre world. They're driven by doubts and fear. What if? So what? What's the worst that can happen? Like some clients, before they join my program, they'll say, Nazia, what if I don't lose weight? I'll say, well, that'll be on you.
Yeah.
If you have a customized meal plan from me and a personalized training plan, that's on your terms, food preference, and you choose not to follow that, then that's on you. That's the only reason you could fail.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fail you as a coach.
Yeah. Like I like to say, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl.
Yeah.
But just do something. Move.
Yeah. And movement creates movement. I'm a big believer. The more we do, the more we can do.
Yeah.
So listen, the transformation, in your words, what does it mean?
It means having the courage to stand up even when you fall down, and to live your truth even in life's darkest moments, because you have the ability. Anybody has the ability to transform their life, but you just need to take the first step.
Okay. And who do you have mentors, gurus, coaches around you?
Oh, so many,
Yeah.
so many in different areas of my life, health and mindset and, business, finance. I think different people contribute to different areas of my life.
Yeah. Help you step up in life.
Help me step up.
And these are important personalities in our lives. Like, if I don't know how to do something, I would literally tap into the expertise.
Yes, and that
I would
is
not
so
sit there, struggle.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even think about the finances. Or can I afford this?
Yeah.
Because I think we owe it to ourselves to invest in our growth.
Yes. Otherwise, you can't.
Yeah,
You
but
can't.
you know what really gets me is people will go and spend money on greasy takeaways. They will drink, they'll spend money on alcohol. They will go on endless holidays, but they will not invest in their health.
I think that's
or
just
in
an
their
excuse.
But or mindset.
It is just an excuse.
But they're running.
Yeah.
Like I heard something recently and I really resonated with it. The reason I've had my head down literally like this year and I've had less holidays than any of the previous years is because holidays were an escapism for me before. Now I don't need to escape.
Same.
Like I don't need to order a greasy takeaway and punish my body, because good foods, they not only make me look good, but they make me feel good.
Yeah.
And investing in mindset growth and knowing where can I learn next? How can I be a better coach? How can I be a better boss? How can I be a better partner for Ravi? How can I be a better friend? How can I be a better leader? I look for those people to come and help me like level up my game. Because the growth journey is never ending.
Yeah, and that is your calling.
Yeah. Well, thank God that these people exist.
Yeah.
That help us.
Both the good and the bad.
The good and the bad. Well, I want to thank you for joining us on this podcast.
Thank you
It's been
so much
great
for
to have
having
you.
me.
Thank you for sharing your journey. I think it's a journey that a lot of people will resonate because I'm sure that most of us have been told in life that we suck, whether it's in personal life or professional life. And how do we do that? How do we turn that setback into our greatest comeback? And in your version, in your story, you've launched your own business and you found your niche in personal branding. Not only did you brand yourself, but you're now helping other brands, corporates and big players to people that are starting out create their online personal brand.
Who knew a heartbreak, could turn out to be something so beautiful?
Yeah.
Actually, more than I had imagined. I
Yeah.
never knew that one day I'll be having my own business and I'll be working with these amazing people and I'd be doing these incredible things. How lucky are we to live in Dubai, to have these opportunities for growth and business and just shine our light on the world, right? As we're supposed to. And
you know what? I think we step into our best versions. We step from failures, from setbacks, from our losses, from our traumas, because they break us down and we're on our knees and then we rebuild ourselves. And when we rebuild ourselves, that's when we really connect the dots. We never had the dots connected in the first place.
No,
right?
But when we look back,
when we look back,
the dots always connect.
But we have to say, you know what, it's time to connect the dots. And now I'm going to connect the dots like I've never done before. Now I'm going to do the work. Now I'm going to get into the detail. I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to make some compromises along the way. That is growth.
That is growth.
That is growth. Right. That's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I enjoyed that so very much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Transformation Lab DXB podcast, powered by Gym Nation. Remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Your transformation starts today. See you next time. I'm your host, Nazia Khan.